Hey, Dustin Tibbetts here, financial advisor with Jazz Wealth Managers. How's it going today? Hope you're having a good day. Well, today I'm kind of going to go over, I saw an article from Forbes where they were basically saying people pay too much attention to their individual investments and they don't pay enough attention to their personal finances and other goals that they have in their life. And I'm going to sort of try to help with this. See, I think people spend a lot of time on their retirement investments because the industry sells you the idea that you have to save more money than you could possibly save, right? Well, as we've sort of shown you with different retirement plans we've done publicly on our channel here, as well as Mr. Josh Scanlon, of course, helping out over there, letting people know you don't need tens of millions of dollars to retire, but unfortunately that's how we feel. And so because we feel that way, that tends to be the bulk of our attention. Now, I'm a big believer that you invest for whatever you need to invest to hit your goal is, then move on, go do something else, right? Don't stress about this in too much day-to-day sort of thing here. So some common issues that I see that sort of relate to this Forbes article that was just published actually last week, that people spend too much time looking at their investments. Here's some of the things that I see if this helps you out. This will be a short video here today. Number one, people of course are focused too much on the individual investments, right? The little, I don't know, the little bits of this one, investments, there we go, can't talk. So people tend to focus too much on this because the markets are more active right now. 2 years ago, nobody cared, right? When the markets go straight up in a really slow and boring way, people sort of disengage a little bit because everything's fine. They feel that it's fine and they move on. When the markets get more volatile, especially between last year and so far this year, you start to feel like, well, I better pay attention or I'm going to miss something. Are you really? Right? If you have a long time until retirement, if the markets fall, you're not going to do anything about it anyways. If the markets go up another 20%, you're not going to do anything about that either, right? You're in it for the long run. You can't afford to be trying to time the markets and miss out on any sort of, whatever growth that there happens to be. So number one, if you're focused too much on your investments, chances are it's because you're putting too much money away. So that leads me to number two, which is to focus on your goal. You hear me say this so much. If I don't say this like 3 times a week, then I'm not doing my job. Focus on what you need to invest for retirement. Go back through our YouTube channel and see if some of the videos where I say, okay, if you're 35 and you want this as a goal and this is how much you have saved, then this is how much you need to invest. Right? Go back and look at all of that. If you're one of our customers, I do this for every one of our customers so that they know how much they need to invest. If they don't like that number and it turns out to be higher, well, then we tweak it. We go back and look at different numbers. We look at different scenarios and stuff until we find the right number for them. When you know what your goal is, think about it. There's only 2 things that stop you from hitting any sort of target in retirement. The first is the wrong investments. Okay, do a little research, study up, see what kind of investments you need to hit your goal. And number 2 is how many dollars do you need to put into those investments to hit that inevitable goal. Once you solve for those 2 equations, there's nothing else to do. Put it on autopilot, learn a little bit as you go, and then squeeze every ounce of profit you can in the long run out of those portfolios. That makes it a lot easier, right? I'm going to stress about what my goal is first, right? Talk about it with your family, your wife, your spouse, whatever, right? And figure out what your goal is. From there, you go, okay, well, how much money is that going to take and what investments do we need to choose? A great example is someone who doesn't have a lofty goal in retirement. Why should they go buy the same thing that everybody else does? Why shouldn't they invest a little differently, a little slower, a little less volatile, maybe in a way that they can handle a little bit better? Too many of you go out and you start investing and you do it in a way that is more volatile, right? Because you read a book and it told you what to buy and you go out and you buy this thing, market falls, you panic and you go, Dustin, what do I do, right? I can't handle this. Well, it's okay, that's how you learn. But in that respect, let's go back and look at your goal. If you don't need to invest so aggressively, then why? Why bother? Everybody goes, well, because I want to make more money. For what? Right? If you're already hitting your goal, then invest for your goal. So that's number 2. All right, so number 3 here is a really, really common one right now. And this, again, is because the markets are really, really sort of active right now. You're saving too much, right? Or you're trying to save too much. See, a lot of people don't ever bother to figure out their goal. They don't bother to look through their different investments, and so they're focused on them more. At the end of the day, if you have to save $123.18 every single month, then save that and then stop, right? Go do something else. Let's find a way to grow your net worth in another way. I'll work with any one of our customers to help them with their net worth once we've got the retirement figured out, okay? So number 3 is saving too much, and it's usually coming from a point of view where someone says, I'm playing catch up. Okay, if you're playing catch up, what's your goal? I don't know. I just know I'm late to the game and I'm playing catch up. Well, let's go backwards a second. Let's figure out that goal. Have I said the word goal enough? Is anybody playing a drinking game out there and now they can't see me? There's like 2 of me going along here. Okay, and number 4 is risk. So many people, I've already alluded to this a little bit, but so many people take on more risk than they really need to. And they don't realize it. They're not bad people. They just start investing because they know they're supposed to and someone gives them some guidance or whatever and they get started. Then the markets start whipping around back and forth and they get nervous. Well, that's an unnecessary emotion that we do not need in investing. Do we have the right investments and do we have the right dollars going to those investments? If you know that's the case, then while you're younger, you go, markets go up and down. I'm used to it. It's fine. When the markets fall, I'll try to buy a little bit more. Maybe I'll up my deposit and then scale it back once the markets go higher. Lots of fun games you can play. But if you're sitting in the corner under the desk and you're shaking because the market's falling, well, then you're never going to think about that. You're never going to say, hey, the markets have fallen. Isn't that kind of like when I'm looking at a car and I want to buy a car and the car falls in value? Do I go under the desk and I shake? No, I get excited. I want to buy that car, right? I'm getting a discount. And so you never get a chance to truly feel that if you're emotional, all right? So number 1, you focus too much on your investments. If that's the case, chances are you're just saving too much. You're putting too much money into it, too much effort and time. And that's weird for me to say because I'm a guy that looks at this stuff all day, every single day. When the market's open, I'm in. All right. Number 2, unclear about your goal. Figure it out. Spend some time talking about it. Number 3, saving too much. If you are saving too much, what is the reason? Could be that you have another goal. It could be that you're already meeting your retirement goal and you're just putting a little icing on the cake because you might want to retire early. All right. If that's not the case, stop it. Put whatever you need to put away and then walk away, all right? And number 4, taking more risk than you can handle. That's a tough one. You will only understand that once you go through some really scary times and some really good times, and then you'll realize what you like and what you don't like, and you'll eventually get there. If you need help getting there, you go to jazzwealth.com. We're financial advisors here. We eat, live, breathe, and literally sleep here working on all this stuff for our customers. We love it, and I'm glad that you guys, sort of paid attention to us here so far. I hope you love it. And if you do, hit the subscribe button, hit the thumbs up button, all that good stuff. And I hope you'll join us at 5 o'clock on our YouTube channel, live 5 o'clock Eastern every day. We do a stock market update show just to let you know, good, the bad, and the ugly. What happened? We'll keep you posted. See you then.
Why should you choose Jazz Wealth as your retirement or long-term investing service? Our portfolios are managed by us, not some faceless mutual fund manager. Our private classes will teach you everything about investing and getting your dough straight. Best of all, our fiduciary standard means your best interest comes before ours.